hate distractions. Hey guys, it's the Ecron Writer here, welcoming you back to another episode of Sleepy Hollow, the missing episodes. Last time, Team Witness has actually managed to go through all the bulge in fraud, which is more disturbing than the last. Not to mention there's a lack of light and a lack of, lack of peace, actually, because they made it their way to Hell's final circle, Treachery. Unfortunately, they came almost too late, for Ichabod has swallowed the seeds of doubt. And according to Jenny, it's much like Beatrice and how she fell for Lucifer and became the queen of hell. Is it true of what Lucifer said as Ichabod was becoming Lucifer's right-hand man? Much like how Jesus was to God? Well, let's find out, shall we? Alright, here we are, folks. Chapter 21, Treachery. We're at the final ring, guys. The virtues were nearly strong enough to minimize the team's landing as they jumped down the well into the last ring. However, the aura was barely enough to keep them warm from the unrelenting chills. Their feet made slight splashing noises, and they noticed some water dropping from nearby stalactites. We are now in the bottommost realm, the farthest away from God, with hardly any light, nor warmth. Body quaked from the soul-freezing air. We're at Treachery, but Satan's just ahead. For now is the frozen lake Cocytus, made especially out of his weeping tears, and his flapping wings to keep it solid as the polar ice caps. It's undoubtedly a home not just for Lucifer, but also for his legions of treacherous shades, and perhaps the birth of his creations, Jenny added while she blew on her hands. Fortunately, they just remained numb. We can't freeze to death here. We must get to Lucifer and crane through the 4 concentric zones. Oh. Everyone groaned, though she was right. They did need to hurry before they had the chance to perish and stay here in the frozen wasteland permanently. They trekked through the harsh environment, and Laura and Jenny described the first drowning. God damn it, distractions! It's the first drowned named Cana. It received this title after the biblical king who murdered his brother Abel, thanks to Lucifer's early works posing as an asp in the Garden of Eden. They usually say it's like Lilith, but I kind of disagree with that. Here were those imprisoned who betrayed their families. Those that were condemned here were frozen up to their necks in eternal impenetrable ice. Feeling the bitter cold enter their veins, the team didn't look at the damned for too long, laying still in the frozen corpses as the lake was just beneath their chins. Diana noticed an individual named as Diane Downs. Heh, Diana knows Diane Downs. If you guys seen Small Sacrifices, you should know this. But I didn't have much of a choice because my ex-stepmom actually forced me to see this. She always watches a lot of Lifetime. You know how Lifetime is. It always has movies that murder women and are based on true events. So you can pause here if you want, and I can't stand the song Hungry Like a Wolf by Duran Duran, which is her ultimate trigger. God damn it! Does the words cruel and unusual punishment mean anything to you? I'm glad my daughter didn't end up as a mute by her. Sixth breath continued to vaporize, and they sharply exhaled, feeling their throats were sliced by shards. They couldn't believe their sight as they looked over to a rock-solid statue of Katrina. Good riddance! He desperately attempted to keep his shivering body warm. I should have known she'd be here after betraying Crane. He must be here. Post haste. They kept moving to keep the blood flowing. They soon came to Antenora, which was named after the Trojan general Antenor, who betrayed Troy to the Greeks even after they had ransomed him from the Greek army. There were those in prison who deliberately betrayed their countries. The ice reached up to the base of their skulls, just as the bridges of their noses. The gang was surprised they wouldn't necessarily die from suffocation. And now Ichabod's not here, but others are. Particularly the redcoats and the loyalists. They recognize the uniforms. There's General William Howell is on here, and they remember the incident on Halloween in season 3. Like during Halloween of that year, he unleashed an undead army. There was also King Louis XVI, who ran the Revolutionary War and his demons while still being stationed in England. There was also Marcus Collins, whom Gavin remembered. If you've seen the season 3 episode, The Whisper in the Darkness, you should know this. And General Hamilton, I got his name wrong, by the way, but I forgot what it was. It's the main antagonist to the Patriot, by the way. So, he at first thought he was a demon, though it didn't matter since he was suffering from the endless cold. Gavin remembered learning about him through a movie during his second U.S. history class in high school. It was then that he had a personal grudge with the British in general until Ichabod showed him that they weren't just snobs wanting to drink all the time and plunder the world, let alone a few nations. I can assure you, they're not all bad, Gavin. His mind drifted away to his lecture. They can be the most polite, efficient people you will meet. You shouldn't let your grudge overshadow your judgment. You should take a chance. They're our valuable allies, after all. Gavin! Gavin! Oh, oh. Payne snapped him back to the present. Ah! He recalled seeing Ichabod lecturing him on how the British really were, trying to extinguish his fiery feelings for them after seeing a retelling of the Revolutionary War. Gavin, you have to keep going. Otherwise, we'll never save him. The cold can really make us drift away. It took a while for the duo to catch up with the others, who were just a few feet away. And then there's round 3, known as Ptolemia. It was named after Ptolemy, the nefarious son of Abubis, who invited Simon, Maccabeus, and his sons to a banquet and then killed them in a fit of rage. Here were those imprisoned who had betrayed their guests and those who came to their home for shelter. Those that were condemned here lie supine in the ice that encased their entire bodies but their faces. It was tough and complicated for Team Witness to follow. Their vision and critical thinking were getting weaker as they went deeper in the frozen lake. Nevertheless, they continued in search of Ichabod and his captor, huddling and attempting to move their bitter bodies all the while. Finally, they made it to the last cove, Judeca. It was indeed obvious it was called after Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Jesus. For a moment, Jenny had a flashback of her exposure to one of the Judas coins, the same one that was capable of awakening a person's darkness. Just like how she, Holly, and even Benedict were infected by greed, anger, wrath, here were those who imprisoned who betrayed lords, masters, and benefactors. All of the sinners punished within were completely encapsulated in ice, distorted in all positions. Due to no one to look at here, they journeyed onward to the center of the ninth circle. They passed a few notorious figures. Diana barely made out an old black police officer. I'm sure many of you don't know this, but it's Captain Jack Wander, who was like the main antagonist in the movie Street Kings. I don't blame Keanu Reeves for this, but the movie itself was just awful. And you can pause here if you want, and it's just gonna drag on too long. Warn Diana a little, knowing that those who betray and take advantage of the laws of the land were put into eternal frozen slumber. And I hope this applies to everyone. Well, if it's like felonies, intense felonies, especially drug addicts. Through the reflective still pond were corpses stored beneath the surface. It really made their stomachs churn, though the freezing winds made them subside almost instantly. And there's Maligant, King Arthur's Prince of Darkness. Although it's in the movie First Night, but I consider it to be historical. But, Sean Connery is King Arthur marrying someone so goddamn young? What? He wasn't a good leader after all. He deserved the worst, especially for Maligant. I mean, Lancelot has, like, the appropriate age for Guinevere. Age appropriateness. Hello? This is why I prefer the 2004 flick, what is it, King Arthur. Specifically the director's cut. Like I said, Clive Owen did a better job, but I never liked him in Inside Man. Screw that. Quartet were relieved to Maligant deserved the worst. Fjord's down was a fallen angel. Castiel, baby! Woo! You thought Dean was there? There's also Castiel. He's nothing more than a Seraph clone. I mean, Seraph in the Matrix sequels, which suck anyway. I never liked Castiel. He's so damn insensitive. He's boring. Maybe a good comrade to the Winchester brothers, but still, he's boring as hell. Especially when he absorbed the Leviathans. Ugh! Terrible. But he's not the only fallen angel here, as you see. Gabrielle, Uriel, Raphael, etc., etc., etc. Leslie further down the lake, Laura, Alex, and the others spotted Ophelia and Polonius. And this is the last time you'll see Shakespeare, by the way. I'm sure Claudius is in violence, never mind. Yeah, it'll be the last time you'll see Shakespeare. So, you can pause here if you want. They also seen various imprisoned demons surrounding the devil, especially Kevin Lomax and his half-sisters, Christabella Andreoli and Pam Garrity. I hate the devil's advocate. I really do. Damn it. There's also the other demons as well. Alistair, Crowley, his mom, Rowena, Beelzebub, the demon trio from Sometimes They Come Back Again, Tony, Vinny, and Sean, Azazel. There's Moloch. Ugh, made them cringe. There was also Lilith, who was close to a spoiled little girl, and the seductress Ruby. Again, from Supernatural. God damn it, Sam should have used the devil's trap instead of break the seal. Haven't they told him that Lilith is Adam's first wife? So, finally, at the center, the team beheld Lucifer's frozen state as well as someone working on his chains. He looked to be an elderly person with a wrinkled face that had his forehead and left cheek covered by zigzags of blood, and all that. Oh, Ichabod! Gavin was incredibly surprised to see him, hoping it's not another illusion. This caused the remaining quintet to look up and greet him, though something was terribly wrong. Crane? You're breaking the surrounding chains that bound the ruler of the underworld with a strong black blade. What the hell is he doing? Crane, stop! The witness gazed upon his friends. At least they used to be. It is time, Ichabod. He looked with eyes that seemed to have irises flaming, and his pentagram glowed beneath his left arm. You must fulfill your destiny. Free me from this chasm and slay Laura. Only then can we both carry the mantle as the true witnesses. You are the first of your kind to make it here. Now do it. Stop them. Obediently, he halted and faced his oncoming allies. It heated up to gargantuan levels. Remember when he said that the witnesses shall breathe fire out of their mouths to devour their enemies? Well, after that, Ichabod used one of his new abilities as a witness. There was a stream of fire melting the ice to a subtropic level. And then, 2 people burst out. Ugh, damn it, I hate when it does that. 2 people burst out. Gavin and the others halted as they looked upon a male and female emerge from the depths. That's right, it's Katrina and Benedict Arnold. They happened to be few of the demons that tortured Ichabod, forcing him to swallow the seeds of doubt. Oh no! Not them again! I have finally arisen to smite you mortals! My associate and I will be more than happy to make you all sleep here and forever be a part of hell. Indeed, Katrina is there. Let's do this. It's our job as guardians to save Crane and shield Laura. Oh, there will be no one to protect, feeble beings. Once we destroy all of you, Laura will have no one to spare her. And once she's been obliterated, even Molly will cease to exist. Words brought terror into them, especially the witness. Now, die! She unleashed a large fireball whom Gavin deflected as he stepped forward and covered himself with the silver arm blades. However, she easily caught it like a volleyball and absorbed it. The melee fire charged, and the first to brawl with him was Jake. Wait. Yeah. Lousy scrolls. They exchanged a few blows. The Benedict had the upper hand in terms of strength. The remaining teammates tried to figure out how to stop the evil witch and save Laura from her, but it wasn't easy. Gavin eventually got involved with Benedict after he noticed Jake was worn out. He was undoubtedly determined to cut the British bastard into ribbons. Alex still possessed Gavin's lighter, however the long streak of flame became weak on exposure to Katrina's manipulation of the elements. Became disabled in a matter of seconds, leaving her vulnerable. She was then tossed asunder. Gavin was desperate to lunge toward the treacherous redhead, but his enemy always interfered. Their movements were too quick for the 6 to draw out their saving grace, the Delilah daggers. With the team nearly on its last legs, Katrina conjured her telekinesis and held the 6 back and crushed their bones against a wall, the same way Job did. Fortunately, there was nothing to spare them now. She was causing them to bleed from the inside. Benedict took out his musket from his waist, cocked it, and aimed it squarely at them. Suddenly, one of the weak stalactites from the temperature change fell and pierced into her spine, immediately stopping her. Benedict nearly dropped his rifle while he noticed the impact. It was just enough time for Gavin to strike them both down with his demon slayer, using all her rage. Then there was the Delilah daggers, the replicas. They stabbed it into the traitors' chests. Blood flow actually froze as it was exposed to the air. The pair hurled their bodies over as they collapsed, though their enemies never made the final blows like they begged them to. Instead, they gave Jenny the notion to draw out the sacred cross she possessed earlier. She held it over their painful vessels. Why not? Finish me off. I deserve to die, only to reanimate and smite you all again. Why spare our lives after all the suffering we've done to you? Because Crane would not allow this. She walked to the duo. This was a rare secret artifact one of my hunters had found. They said it had the blood of Christ crusted on it, and it once belonged to Beatrice and Dante, the two witnesses before Crane's time. With this, I shall free you from eternal torment. As I carry the virtue of faith, I can release the two of you from this frozen tundra. Despite the treachery for our country and mostly for Crane, we feel this way is more honorable. Now go! Be gone! As if by magic, their spirits left their vessels, their corrupt vessels, as if they crumbled into dust. Their expressions changed from malevolence to benevolence. Everyone just watched, including Lucifer and Ichabod further down. Witness stopped bashing the change and gazed upon the brilliance. He even slowly walked toward it and disregarded the anguish from the caged demon. Despite Gavin refusing it, labeling them as traitors, and being that he hates the redcoats, Jenny has proven him wrong. Benedict was swayed by the Judas coins. He became a tyrant. She knew from the beginning that she herself was exposed. Because of the Horsemen of War during community service, Katrina deserved the same fate, and while she was a backstabber, she decided on her own free will to be corrupted by dark magic from the Grand Grimoire. So eventually their spirits ascended and dissolved through the deadly ceiling, thanking her greatly. Little did they know, Ichabod's left arm began to eradicate, clenched his teeth in irritation until the pentagram itself finally disappeared, dissolved in the same aura as the cross, restored the two treacherous souls. He held it still, dumbfounded at what he just felt and saw. No! How can this be? Crane! Stay back! He had his shackles broken. I'm afraid you are too late, mortals. For as you can see, my servant has shattered the chains that bound me. Few chosen ones has tried and failed. Ulysses of Ithaca, the knight Lancelot, Alexander the Great, Attila the Hun. Thanks to thou, Ichabod Crane, I am at long last free from my eternal prison. Your journey as a witness has now come to a close. I shall reign supreme on the wretched world, and soon God. Yes, I owe it all to you, fellow traitor. Ha 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 ha. Violent swirling portal opened. My four generals, the time has come. We shall roam the land once more and declare war on heaven and erase all the innocent. The apocalypse is now! Seven shielded their eyes as the devil ascended from treachery and entered the dimension of the living. Come on! Hurry! Grab my hand! Quickly, Ichabod offered a hand. Then the others followed. They grabbed hold as they ran and leaped through the anticipating exit. And here are the songs. There were quite a few infamous traitors here from all media. There's small sacrifices. There's, I can't stand it whenever Hungry Like a Wolf is on. There's Katrina, there's Benedict. She's always known as pretentious backstabber. But I'd rather have them restored because I'm sure that's what Ichabod wanted. Only for Ichabod's sake. And yeah, there's Marcus. And you can pause here if you want. It just describes each of the traitors. I don't really have a lot of time. Alright, you could pause here if you want to. Describes each of the damned. Describes all of that. Demons, the backstabbers. Alright, maybe Ludlow didn't descend into eternal darkness and cold, but Kevin Lomax did. Ludlow is actually one of Keanu's other roles. So, you can pause here if you want. Whoops, hold on. Pause here if you want. The Patriot, the demons. So Ichabod and Lucifer had their shackles broken, and they and Team Witness managed to leave hell altogether and return to the world of the living. The long ride with the damned is finally over, but the story isn't. What'll happen next? Find out next time, sleepyheads. We are finally finished with the climax. Thank goodness. Oh my god, I couldn't wait to get it done. It was so damn long. So, I have like another 4, maybe 5 chapters to go. Albeit one is really short at the end. But yeah, I have like 4 more chapters and we're finally out of hell. I can't wait to show it to you guys. See you all next time.